Listen, I'm glad we have a door, right? But we should be able to use it. Like, what good are saloon doors if I can't walk through them?
Wait, that guy who put the porn door on put saloon doors on there?
Yeah. So he put like a glass door, and I called Jerry and I said, "What is the point of a glass door on a porno room?" Jerry, obviously speaking with like his fucking voice modulator on, said he'll call the guy back. Dude comes back. They start to just put up like laundry doors, and I had the idea, well, if I'm going in there with a handful of porn, you know what I mean? I don't want to have to use a handle, so.
So it's just split the Red Sea right into Pornville, right?
That would be the idea, but he'll put up one door. It's not two doors. Like, it won't. I've walked into it twice and dripped porno everywhere.
Sir?
Yeah.
Can we help you?
Wait, let me put my chainsaw down.
Yeah, may want to take that outside.
All right.
We need to put a louder bell on that door, dude.
Yeah, for real.
I get the confusion here, but you guys recommended this movie to me. This is a pile of shit.
No? Yeah. Okay.
Army of the Dead?
No.
Yeah, because that was free.
Yeah, we gave you one.
We haven't charged a single person for Army of the Dead.
I don't want any more copies
it.
of Army of the Dead. Stop giving them to me.
Quit coming in here.
Well, I came in for one movie. I walked out with 3, and I've already got 3 of these at home.
Sir, it was a simple math problem. Dude with a chainsaw movie equals, that guy's taking that movie home.
Yeah.
Well, let's get back to my real complaint.
Okay.
Have you ever seen American Beauty?
Great chainsaw movie.
I've seen a bag float through the air.
You've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, you recommended this movie to me, and I just want to know why.
Look at the cover, dude.
Yeah.
You come in here every week with the worst lipstick I've ever seen and a chainsaw.
Yeah, I get how the mistake was made.
Is that even your real hair?
Did you guys even watch this movie before you recommended it?
We have to watch every movie, sir.
No.
Wait.
No.
Don't say that in front of Jerry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you just kind of pulled it out of a pile of guns.
Loved this movie. Dan, now you say it so it's on the record.
Oh, this movie was excellent. You should view it.
Yeah, this whole place is bugged.
Tell me your favorite part then.
The one with the chainsaw.
Okay, so you obviously watched it.
Let me see. There was that other part with the chainsaw.
Oh shit. God damn it. Well, I can't refute that.
That part where he kills the guy with the chainsaw.
Anyway,
actually,
I would like a credit on my account for this.
The fuck
best we can do is another copy of Army of the Dead. Like,
no.
You don't even have to rent anything else today.
I don't want to rent anything else, and I don't want any. Stop handing them to me.
I put a free Reese's
it's instinctual at this point.
Well, can you at least credit me?
Why don't we just trade it out?
Please, maybe one of you could just give me $1 from your wallet.
No, we already took the time to steal it from the register.
We only have Jerry coins, and I don't know what the conversion rate is right now.
Damn it.
So
I have a chainsaw box full of these, dude.
How about we make a deal?
Okay.
If you use your chainsaw to split the saloon doors to our porno room in half, I'll let you rent something else.
So you just have one saloon door now that's connected in the middle?
Yeah, it's pretty obvious when you get there.
You gotta...
I don't know who he hired.
I think it's 2 doors that normally swing out.
I think it was Brian De Palma.
Well, that guy doesn't know anything about putting a door in. On this week's episode of 5 Day Rentals, we watch The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Next Generation. All right. Welcome back to 5 Day Rentals. I'm Bile. I'm joined as always by Bones and Dan. This will be the first movie in a series of films called Sequels Only.
Ooh.
That's right. We're skipping part 1 and jumping right into the deep end.
Big number 2.
Yeah.
Or 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So we all watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. Guys, how much did you fucking love this movie?
Kron, I think that's the end segment of our show.
All right, well, give me your first impressions about how much you loved this fucking movie.
Bones.
I want people to keep listening, so stay tuned.
Listen.
I can't, dude. This is a fucking piece of shit. This was a painful hour and a half, man. God damn it.
You know what really kicked us in the fucking balls? Kim Hinkle is a fucking dude.
Yeah, I thought about that too. All right, correction right up top. Last week we said Kim Hinkle was a man or a woman. Turns out it's a man the whole time.
Totally a dude.
Pulling the old switcheroo on us.
Which is fine. Which is totally
Sure.
fine.
Also, to be fair, we don't know how Kim Hinkle identifies.
Yeah.
So,
Worked on the original
Wrote
With-
the original.
with Tobe
Co-wrote.
Hooper. Pretty obvious who fucking carried all that weight, right? Mm-hmm. Jesus
Yes.
Christ.
part 4 makes it clear who made the first one so good. It's not Kim Hinkle.
This is like if Edward Furlong tried to direct Terminator 7.
It might be better than a few of them, actually.
Yeah.
Bones, I mean, before you got back from grabbing your beer, I told Dan last week you guys got all shitty with me saying I'm tanking the list. I'm throwing all these movies out to get in the top 10. So I feel like Next Generation is like a blessing, you know?
Oh, I had a real sappy moment last week on Dead Heat. I admitted that I felt sad because I feel like you guys aren't liking the movies that I'm picking as much as I think you should. That I'm afraid I'm picking bad movies for the podcast. I don't feel that way now. This you have blessed me with a few picks of like I don't care. Like this was fucking miserable to get through.
Guys, I mean, I told you with Red Sauce, you know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is the best movie I have on my list in all of my categories. I said we're going to be going pretty fast down a hill from here, and we're moving at great speed now.
Terminal velocity, I think.
Kron did make a quote. It's a race to the bottom, and I thought I was in that lead with the monster dog, but it has some competition.
How do you feel about it, Kyle?
I thought the first 45 minutes were okay. Like when it has a bit more of a traditional setup.
Yeah.
Like when I first like the first 15 minutes at least, I was like, I don't know why everybody hates this movie. Like, this is all right. Like, I didn't think it was great by any means, you know, but I was just like, if people call this like a pile of shit. I'm not seeing it so far. And then, especially by the halfway point, I was just like, oh man, this thing is just running off the rails.
Running off the dirt road that they made for it.
Mm-hmm.
You can look at my body position. I wish I could take a time lapse of this on my sofa, like the chaise, on how into a movie I am. If within 15 minutes I am completely on my back, not even facing the television, it's not a good sign. Like,
so there was no you didn't even care for like the first 15 to 20 minutes of this?
Right off the bat, I think within, as soon as they're in the car, I thought, why is this taking forever? And it's one of the things I want to talk about in the movie is how much it's like they stretch out 3 minutes into 9 minutes.
Right.
Like they'll repeat basically the same dialogue over and over. And I just kept thinking, like, what is this? This is a terrible way to set people up for me to give a shit, you know. I know I go off a lot about, you know, liking characters, and a really good writer, a really good director can make you like somebody that isn't that likable. You know, Tarantino or De Palma or fucking Scorsese, you know, like these movies that are fucking classics, but the guys are shitheads. Catcher in the Rye style, like what? I'm fucking fascinated. If you can't do that, if you can't deliver it, I'm immediately out. And that's how I really felt. And yeah, the first up when they wreck, and we'll get to it, and they're all arguing about who's going. I was like, oh fuck, there was a switch in my head that thought, oh, in this one I'm gonna have fun watching them all get murdered because they're all so shitty and stupid that that's the trick of this one. Is I'm excited for McConaughey to show up, and it's gonna be a fun bloodbath. Oh no.
Yeah, this movie gets worse and worse. Truly. Like, it's hard to find a movie that the opening credits are its peak.
To me, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is very straightforward. You have your crazy family, you have your teenagers, death ensues. This just didn't get there. Like, this is the easiest thing you guys could do. What are you doing?
I get trying to add a little bit of flair to it, update it a little bit. That's totally fine, but it just drops the ball at fucking every point. You absolutely go ahead.
Oh, I was going to agree with Dan that like right off the bat, I think the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one of the best horror movies I've ever seen.
Love it.
And this movie is almost a remake of that at certain points. Like, they repeat the same bits from the first one, and it's just crazy how much worse this is.
Some of the same dialogue as well. And the original house looks way creepier than what this house was.
Yeah, the other one was lived in, and like the house itself told the story. This is just a regular house that somebody threw shit all over the place.
I like my Leatherface dirty, like, you know, covered in blood, grease, shit, whatever, teeth. This guy was like super clean cut Leatherface. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I thought it was it's an inconsistent Leatherface. I sort of like the idea of like that Ed Gein, more of like trying to make some skin and make hair and putting the lipstick, and I liked that aspect. I didn't like that compared to the dumb idiot who yells for half his screen time. You know, like there's literal shots of him after he throws the girl in the freezer. It's like 30 seconds of him running around his own house just screaming. Like,
there's a ton of screaming in this film.
And I thought about the first movie, that sequence at the end, or like towards the end, where they're trying to get the old man to like hit her with the hammer. Mm-hmm. And like all the screaming in that sequence, but it's like that's a crescendo, like a build up to that, where you're just fucking terrified. In this one, it's so scattered and so constant, it just becomes annoying.
I feel like this movie took an approach of what if Leatherface wasn't even important to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're relying on McConaughey here. I did watch, there's a documentary on YouTube, Beyond the Return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because that is the original title, Return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And Kim Hinkle says that he wrote him as what he thought a cross-dressing trans man pretty much would go through, I guess. Kind of having like feelings and stuff. That's why he was so scared of like actually hurting people, and that's why Zellweger got away with kind of turning the tides on him at the dinner scene. So he was so scared to actually hurt somebody because of his feelings. It's like, it's Leatherface, bro. He wears people's faces on his face.
Now, spoiler alert, there's hardly any blood in this movie.
No gore.
No gore. And I was like, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to look some stuff up here because I want to see, did this thing get cut to hell? And one of the things that I read, that there was an early subplot with Renee Zellweger's character and her stepdad.
Mm-hmm.
And her dealings with her own stepdad, who's abusive and stuff, that sort of comes in later on, where she like is able to deal with them. So when she gets all bossy and wants to walk out at the end, it sort of explains that. Like,
yeah,
that would have given her more to do, and I would have appreciated that a little bit more.
They show that scene in the documentary. It gets cut from the film.
Well, you guys want to jump into this plot?
Give it to us, Kron. Mm-hmm. Rev that chainsaw up.
You guys like that? Is that a good chainsaw?
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Been working on my impressions.
You're a regular
right.
Michael Winslow.
So for the opening of this, we get a big block of text like we do with every Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. I have it written down. Not sure I really even want to read it.
Well,
basically, what's that?
I was going to say, you could read it really bland-like, and you'd still have more life in it than the dude reading it.
All right, we'll just get through it quick. August 18th, 1973. News of a bizarre chainsaw-wielding family reports, which were to ignite the world's imagination, began to filter out of Central Texas. Regrettably, none of the family members were ever apprehended. For more than 10 years, nothing further was heard. Then, over the next several years, at least 2 minor, yet apparently related incidents were reported. Then again, nothing. 5 long years of silence. Time is a flat circle.
All right.
I added that last bit. All right. So at this point, we get a real long shot of a girl putting on lipstick. It goes on for longer than it should. Then she's getting herself into a prom dress. And boom, there you have it. She's ready for the prom. Two different girls walk into the prom, and the first girl is looking for Barry. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but did you notice her friend that is with her at this point?
Is she supposed to be autistic, or like what's going on with that one?
I thought autistic, or she had the DTs from alcohol withdrawal or something, because she like comes into the prom like twirling into the entranceway, and then she's like real jittery and shit.
Yeah.
She's kind of like making head motions, like come over this way. And then there's a part where she kind of like repeats the same word over and over.
Yeah. Heather asks, like a chaperone, have you seen Barry? And then the friend starts going on like, she always, like a Jeff Goldblum-y sort of.
Yeah.
What? I don't know why why is she doing this? And it's like, what the fuck who are you talking about?
I think she's trying to make fun of Zellweger there. Ginny.
Really?
I don't know. That's the only thing I could think of. I'm like,
Well, okay. On my second painful viewing of this, the chaperone has this look of like, oh, I took it as the chaperone saw Barry macking with somebody else. So when she says, oh, I thought you guys weren't together anymore, blah, blah, blah. I thought her friend was saying, like, don't listen to her. She's just trying to, like, rile you up. That's what she does.
I mean, I thought this girl like either had something wrong with her, or my other thought was just like she got cast as a bit part in this movie. She was like, all right, you got to sell it. Like, this is your big break.
Yeah.
Give them something they're going to remember. So she animated to like a 15 out of 10.
Mm-hmm. Or she's like a Crispin Glover in Final Chapter that is just fucking outshining everybody.
Well, and it's kind of like after I watched this whole movie, I was kind of like, I wish that girl in the red dress had stuck around for more of the film. Mm-hmm. Some of that crazy acting could have really spiced some of this up a little bit.
That's the titular lady in red.
Mm-hmm.
So that song's about. The autistic girl at the prom.
So the main girl out of that group is Heather. She walks outside. She starts screaming for Barry, but he's just around a pillar about 5 feet in front of her, making out with some other girl.
not hiding very well, Barry.
You've never macked so hard that your ears shut down?
Yeah.
Your sense of hearing, just your brain couldn't handle the stimulation, so I had to shut down other senses?
The tongue is so far down your throat that you can't hear.
Yeah.
So Heather finds Barry making out with this other chick, and Heather storms off. She jumps in a car, which I assumed was Barry's car.
Barry's
Yes.
dad's car.
All right. So she hops in Barry's dad's car. And
Who's a lawyer and a doctor and a pilot
he's got a real
and a banker.
he's got a real Heath Ledger Joker origin story where
Maybe he's a Brad Bradshaw. You
it
remember
changes every.
You can't mention real names on it.
that? What? No, not a guy we know. Like that's a lawyer in Missouri or something. He's like he's like a lawyer, surgeon, doctor.
Dan knows him.
Yeah.
He performed.
The name
Dan's,
is super similar to somebody else that we went to high school with, so he panicked. But
I know him. You fuckers lived here forever.
Dan, he did your open heart surgery and then
Filed
helped
your
you sue
taxes.
Burger King.
He did my open heart surgery, and then I sued him, and he helped me with that.
It seems like a conflict of interest.
oh, I said file your taxes like a lawyer files taxes. Forgot.
So now they're in Barry's car. Barry hops in as she's kind of peeling off. Barry Barry says, basically, I wasn't doing anything wrong. Heather says, I saw you kissing her. Barry says, it's like I can't even talk to my friends. You're so possessive.
God, I can't believe how possessive you are.
God, you're such a bitch, Heather. Heather says, that's why you were feeling her up. And Barry just goes, you know what? Guys need sex. It's bad if you get all worked up and then you don't get any. That's how you get prostate cancer. Medically sound.
Probably need to get a new bit, Barry.
I don't know. Barry's an asshole, but I still believe that you shouldn't get all worked up. I think it's bad for you.
If you don't,
I'm not saying it's the girl's responsibility. I'm just saying that.
You're siding with Barry here.
No, I'm just siding with if you get all worked up, you should go home and take care of it.
He's saying that the movie would work better if rather than getting caught making out with a chick, if he got caught jerking off in that car.
Yeah. It's not cheating if it's with yourself.
I don't think I want to see Barry doing either one.
Jerking off or making out?
Yeah.
Well, you see him make out.
How? We'll get to that. I got a question.
At this point, Jenny, who is Renee Zellweger, and her boyfriend Sean pop up from the back seat. Heather and Barry get kind of freaked out by this. They run a stoplight and they get in a minor fender bender with another car. I guess this was just supposed to be like a little jump scare, maybe. It seems unnecessary. This first minor car crash.
I was just questioning how they got so far into the woods in like 2 minutes.
Well, the Texas Chainsaw House is located about a half mile away from the high school.
That makes sense.
Jenny says that the prostate thing that Barry said is a total lie. Barry said that his dad is a doctor. He thinks he'd know what's true. Sean used to be Barry's neighbor, tells a story about how Barry used to invite girls over. He would say that his dad was a doctor and that these girls could get breast cancer if they didn't let Barry feel them up. This guy's a sexual predator, dudes.
I think we need to cancel Barry, guys.
Yeah, Barry's canceled.
Okay.
But one would argue that proper massage techniques are used to identify breast cancer in early stages. I think he was just misguided. You know? So
it's like he had the drive, but not the degree.
Yeah.
I think Bones is pro Barry.
No, I'm pro breast cancer screenings.
Get checked out, ladies.
There you go.
Yeah, if you're listening now,
Yeah.
let this episode of the podcast be the reason that you get screened.
Yeah,
Let three white dudes tell you that.
I didn't want the message to get skewed in his abhorrent behavior.
Listeners, don't watch this movie.
The four in the car must have taken a wrong turn because now they're down a dirt road. They're lost. They can't find a place to turn around anywhere.
These assholes
So they
don't even know how to make roads. Some shit. Yeah.
So they just keep going down the road that they're on. Heather thinks that she sees something in the woods. So all four of them kind of turn to look. And then another car comes careening off of another dirt road and slams right into them. Now, at this point, I thought this was all a setup for the Chainsaw family, but it's not.
I will say it's a pretty nice looking collision there. Not bad.
So the other driver, everybody gets out. The other driver is out cold. He's just kind of laying on the ground. Ginny, Barry, and Heather decide that they're going to go leave the scene and try to find somebody that can help. And Sean is going to stay with the driver. As they're walking through the woods, Heather keeps getting freaked out. She grabs Barry's arm at this point, which causes him to drop his flashlight. Barry says, "Great, now we can't see shit." But there's probably, conservatively, 1,000,000 watts of floodlights in this thing.
It's never dark.
Oh, it's a full moon.
I mean, it's as bright as some days are.
Yeah.
So,
And very foggy.
Also, Heather, on the scale of 1 to 10 of annoyance, she's at a 8.5 by this point. She just gets worse and worse and worse. I think it peaks when they arrive.
put her on the big list of annoying babes, huh?
Big list of bitches.
Barry's able to pick up the flashlight and kind of just smacks it around a bunch. The light comes on. And then they see a dead dog.
That flashlight looks legit out of like 1930s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, where the fuck did you get that?
And that dead dog looked like
the
a
monster
fucking,
dog?
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah.
Looked like a fucking dinosaur.
I wrote, was that a fucking werewolf?
Would you have liked it better, Dan, if he just had one of those old, like, bobby lights that has, like, a candle in it?
I wish
like,
that.
hold up from the top.
Yeah, I wish he would have had that. He would have panned over down to it, and it would have kind of sucked you in tunnel vision, and you just would have come out on the other side into Monster Dog.
Wow. That's the crossover we need, is the next generation Monster Dog.
I like those big flashlight, those big box lights. The ones that have the little coil cable that comes off of it. Yeah, those are always pretty cool looking. They look like, old school lunch boxes.
I think they use those
are good
in
ones.
My Bloody Valentine.
Yeah, they're like the minor flashlights.
Yeah.
Because then the coil is so they can disconnect them and put them on their helmet.
So these three, they find a trailer office. There's a lady inside.
What is this business?
I don't know, like construction or real estate or
I think
something.
it was real estate.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah, it's a real estate. I always love to go visit my realtor in his trailer. That's how you know he's a pro.
With their slutty assistant or whoever this lady is.
Well, my realtor is also a surgeon and a lawyer and
Accountant?
tax guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm sure if we contact the guy, he would advertise here.
So this lady inside, these three tell her what's going on. She says she's going to place a call, and she makes a call to someone named Vilmer.
Let's not blow over the fact that they kick open the door. They say, call somebody. There's been an accident. Barry and Heather fucking rack
She
out on a
flashes
chair.
her tits.
Yeah, in a second. But Heather's like, could somebody please get me some water? And her and Barry start arguing. There's very little explanation. The tone of the performance and the writing is so bland.
They're just some whiny ass kids.
Yeah, but
dude.
the woman barely asks any questions, just like picks it up, starts. I guess we know later on why she's like all excited to get some struggling teens, but
Oh, she knows.
the whole tone is just off.
If these kids came into my trailer office, I'd just tell them to leave, man.
Plus, it's like 10 o'clock. Why is she at this office?
She needed to be there for the plot to continue.
Right. Was she just hanging out because she had to pick pizza up on the way home?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
This can be added to the red sauce category. Kron.
Sure. A little red sauce crossover.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to look at the list real quick and see if anything else applies. Not really. So somebody throws something through the window of this little trailer office. This lady, what is her name? I'm just going to call her Lady.
Oh.
She's literally a lady in all my notes.
I thought it was Gail, honestly. Might not be.
Somebody IMDb that. Anyway.
I'm on it.
We don't support IMDb. We support Letterboxd.
As this rock or whatever comes flying through the window, this lady responds by just getting up and flashing whoever threw this rock at them. It's a weird response, but...
Darla.
Darla. But, it's like I never tried this strategy of just a brick through the window. Could have been seeing tits all the time.
Yeah, I would have invested in tons of bricks.
Mm-hmm. Start working on teardowns just to get some free supplies.
Well, the thing is,
the union wouldn't appreciate that.
Wrapped around that brick was a breast cancer safety awareness brochure.
Oh, that's why she flashed everyone?
To show that she was healthy.
Well, yeah, but people are throwing bricks to give them to these women. Like, hey, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
So
you need to paint your brick pink so people know it's a breast cancer brick.
Up until this point, I believe that I had seen this movie because I remember that scene. And I think we were in Germany. But we didn't pay attention to anything after this. Because we either started drinking or smoking, and I don't remember none of this movie after that.
Breast exams.
Oh, man.
All around.
Daryl's in the hospital. Oh, shit, what happened? He started running his mouth off to this guy, got his face busted in with a breast cancer brick.
It's
Those
all
are
right,
meant
though.
for good, not bad.
That's all right, though. During the MRI, they found 2 lumps in his left tit. Probably saved his life.
We cut back over to the crash. McConaughey
Do we need
shows
to
up.
include the breast cancer awareness website on this episode?
Isn't that whole thing like a scam? Like that whole Think Pink
I don't think so.
No, I think that organization takes 80% of their donations or some shit.
Dude, way to have the balls to go after big breast cancer research.
I'm gonna look this up. Obviously,
We're going to be on the Today Show tomorrow.
lowest rated podcast in the
trying
world
to take down.
Now on
Trying
the
to take
radar
down.
for its anti-breast cancer awareness message. That's fine. I'll wear some something pink and I'll go on a walk.
5K.
I'll go.
Even bad press is good press.
I'll do a fun run. All right.
Breast cancer awareness truther.
We'll do a breast cancer awareness special episode, and all of what we bring in we'll donate.
Well, what are you wearing pink? You fucking sheep.
Pussy.
All right, so we cut back over to the crash. McConaughey shows up in an old truck, and he gets out. He basically just walks up and pronounces this kid on the ground dead. And Sean is like, no, I'm pretty sure he's just passed out. And McConaughey snaps this guy's neck.
How did you catch this guy's name? Because I didn't even know he had a name. Sean?
Sean is the boyfriend.
Yeah.
Is Ginny's boyfriend.
The one in the back.
Yeah. So at this point, we cut back over to the 3 kids. Thanks for calling a wrecker for us, they say. Ginny even has a little part where she asks if the guy over at the gas station would be able to help. And Darla's like, no, that guy shoots first and asks questions later. Don't go talk to him. We cut back over to McConaughey. Sean is basically running down the road, trying to get away from him. I don't know why I thought this was funny, but there's a part where he like stops running, and
Yes.
McConaughey pulls up next to him. And he's like, "Please, mister, you're scaring me." It's like the most Opie from Andy Griffith like
Well,
delivery.
And then he goes, just come on, give me a chance. Like,
Yeah.
run into the woods, dude. Get off the
All the-
fucking road.
All the like wood shots in this film are terrible. Like they're just like random as scabby ass looking trees, like for fill in.
It looks like a lot of the dirt roads around where we grew up. You know, like they just filmed all that shit on the same half-mile stretch.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
McConaughey chases this kid a little bit more and finally hits him, and then just proceeds to like back up and run over him about 10 more times.
It's so fucking lame. It's shot in a wide in front of the thing. You just see it like go up, back, and he's listening to like some shitty heavy metal, like a tape that he put in or something.
Yeah, a little White Snake or something.
I think so. Dan, did your mom
Don't.
recognize it?
Do not put something good into something bad, okay?
Dan, make your mom watch The Next Generation and let us know if that's White Snake or not.
Yeah, make her watch all 7 seasons of Star Trek The Next Generation.
Do we need to? We can call Chad. He'll give us a rundown on that.
We're back over to the 3. A truck comes down the road. Barry tries to flag this truck down. He starts running after it. Heather follows, and now Jenny's all alone.
Yeah, why would you do that?
Just chase a truck down the road?
No, just like leave one of your partners behind.
Oh, they're not friends. They're so shitty to each other.
Yeah,
just
they were
like just like how Kron has said he's going to take us into the woods and shoot us.
Yeah, was that pre-record?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will. I'll shoot you both in the woods.
You know we're supposed to come and visit you like here in the next few months, right?
I just really hope that at this point, like, neither one of you gets shot in the woods, because now there'll be this damnable piece of evidence against me. Just hang over my head for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I'm going to do like McCaffrey style, where I'm just going to start talking about how if I'm ever shot in the woods, it wasn't a suicide. Kyle murdered me. He took all my clothes off, chased me into the woods.
So let's see. We get a little jump scare here where Jenny gets attacked by a big trash bag.
And I was thinking American Beauty, baby.
I thought this scene was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen.
I was like, Oscar, anybody?
We cut back over to Barry and Heather. I think this is my only note like this, but I just wrote this scene is pretty much useless. I don't know what they talk about here, but they just prattle on while they're looking for this truck for a little while.
Yeah,
She's like talking about death or some shit.
Yeah, she goes on about how her mom hates her dad, but she stays with him for the money. So she's basically saying, I'll stay with you, Barry, you know, because you've got a good life. Like, you're an asshole. And I think he was sort of like, why would you do that to yourself?
Oh, I think he says, like, what's wrong with that? Like, that's how marriages work.
Right. And then I think, doesn't she go on about how she saw Jenny in the showers. She's got a body to die for. Or something.
Yep.
Because Barry keeps giving her a hard time.
So at this point, Barry and Heather find this old truck that they were trying to flag down. It's out at an old farmhouse. Heather tries the front door, and Barry decides he's going to go around back to check.
Try implies she just like lightly knocked on the door and was patiently waiting for somebody to maybe offer assistance.
Mm-hmm.
She beats on the door, screams, kicks it. I wouldn't help this person.
I don't know. I mean, I guess if you were trying to get like immediate help, you'd probably knock with some.
But at this point, though, like somebody's been called. You know, like they're just trying to get a ride back to the crash site.
True.
You know,
That's a good point.
if it was right after the accident, I could see beating on it. But
Heather is out front, sitting on the porch swing. Leatherface enters stage left and starts to examine her hair. There's no way she would not have seen him.
no,
He just walks up directly behind her.
Or smelled them.
That's true too.
yeah, it's a very Black Phillip at the end of The Witch. You know, he kind of just appears behind her. I didn't hate it. At that point, I was like, all right, that's the coolest thing in the movie so far. But
Wait, Black Phillip was in this movie?
Mhm.
Oh, fuck.
he offered Jenny a bunch of butter.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Does want to live
butter.
deliciously.
Out back, a voice tells Barry to stop right there. It's some redneck who has Barry at gunpoint.
You can't
This guy is-
can't shoot me, mister. I know about this guy who got shot while robbing a house or some shit. My dad's a lawyer. I know what I'm talking about.
That's what I like. His dad has so many origin stories. It's like, you want to know how I got these scars?
My dad's a roofer. He's also an audio engineer. And he's a chainsaw mechanic. You'd really need to sharpen that blade there, bud.
Heather starts to feel Leatherface's presence behind her, and he's also playing with her hair a bunch. She stands up. Leatherface kicks over a broom. She freaks out. He grabs her. She gets into the house, but he catches her and throws her into a giant freezer. Out back, the redneck guy still has Barry at gunpoint.
What I did enjoy in the freezer was how he throws her in, shuts the door, and then she immediately opens the door back up.
Mm-hmm.
I did think
I
that
thought
was
that
funny.
was pretty sweet.
Yeah, so he had to grab some shit like something off the refrigerator next to her.
Like a
to, like,
washer
weigh it down.
drum
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
This redneck guy tells Barry to go into the house. Barry says that's kidnapping, but I actually kind of need to use the bathroom.
I had to use your bathroom anyway.
So he runs into the house and locks the door, which is exactly what the redneck guy wanted in the first place. So
Yeah.
I don't know why Barry considers this a win. Barry finds the bathroom. He's yelling to Heather about some crazy guy out back with a gun, but I locked him out. You should have seen how smart I was.
Now, do we got a smut wall here?
I think this is just a shit wall.
I mean, it's covered in human skin. There are some titties, and there's some picture on there, which looks like some nudity, but
No.
I can really make it out.
I can't allow this to be...
No on the smut wall?
No, because I don't want to ruin the joy of a smut wall. This is just atrocious.
Yeah.
Listeners, we do have a new list available on our Letterboxd HQ page called The Films That Feature Sly Stallone's Playboy Covers. So if you know of any other films, please let us know and we'll add those to our list. Thank you.
I don't know why Barry doesn't react at all to how shitty this bathroom is. If I walked into that house, I would be mortified.
I don't understand if you're going to have a house of horrors, like why you would just fill the bathtub with a deceased old lady. Like, you still got to take a shower and stuff, guys.
These people don't shower, dude.
Like blood and tissue and body parts get on you. Like
These people shit directly into wherever they are.
I mean, you can't jerk off with human blood all day long. It's just not possible.
I think Leatherface is the exception that proves the rule or something. You know, like he is that. I don't know.
This is not this is not my Leatherface.
Yeah. I've never understood it. I've never liked that or gotten that appeal of, oh, these people are so creepy and gross that their house is like this. Like, you have to have some element of livability, you know, like you're saying, like there should have been another portion of the house that wasn't as fucked up and don't, you know, like there should have been like the Leatherface portion of the house and then where Matthew McConaughey was, like,
well, at least just don't shit on the ground. Like, have the decency to drop those turds into a condom, you know?
There's every episode.
There's no safe pooping in this house.
Well, I think you just step in piles of it every few steps.
Like Darla's trailer office looked pretty clean.
Mm-hmm.
Looked pretty nice.
But that's like a front.
Yeah.
To get you to the house.
But they could have.
I loved in the original that there was like live chickens in their house. I thought that was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I get what you're saying, though, Bones. It's kind of like maybe if you kept your house a little nicer, you wouldn't have to rent a whole nother trailer just to have this scam operation.
I'm just saying that even when I worked in EMS and I went to a house that was fucking god awful, there was still like some element of like a person could at least live and wash themselves in here, you know? Like,
well, wouldn't you get more victims that way too?
Yeah.
Yeah, have a nice place.
Yeah.
Barry finishes up his piss. He turns around, does see a rotting body in the tub, and he also notices a skin suit hanging on the bathroom hook. He runs out of the bathroom. He instantly gets knocked out with a big hammer by Leatherface. Leatherface at this point goes and gets Heather out of the freezer, and he puts her on a big hook that's hanging in the corner, just like in Texas Chainsaw 1.
So this is how Barry dies, correct?
Yeah, I think Barry's gone after this. He just gets mashed with that hammer.
Yeah, Barry got smoked.
Towards the end, I'm like, how the fuck did Barry die? Because I didn't even remember that.
In the remake, when Leatherface throws the hunky guy up on the hook, I remember that being pretty visceral. Like, that guy really sells that. Or in Overlord, did you guys see Overlord?
Yeah.
Nope.
It's pretty good. Wyatt Russell gets stuck on a hook like that. It's pretty brutal.
We're back over to Jenny. McConaughey pulls up, tells her to get in the truck. She asks some pretty good questions at this point. Did you move the cars? Where is Sean? Those are decent things to ask in a horror movie. McConaughey tells Jenny a story about a lady getting her arms cut off for taking a ride from a stranger. And then he knocks her glasses off, but also tells her to look behind her, which seems to defeat the purpose.
Yeah.
But he has the corpses of Sean and the other guy from the wreck hanging off the back of his truck.
And Sean's body is in much better shape than you would have assumed, having been run over 24 times by a dually.
Mm-hmm. Jenny sees... I wrote down here that Jenny sees some keys on the floorboard. I thought that this would be important at the end of the movie somehow, but it was not at all. She ends up jumping out of the truck. McConaughey tries to run her down, but she makes it to the tree line, and McConaughey basically just leaves at this point. Leatherface pops up in the woods with a chainsaw, chases Jenny through a pond. He definitely could have killed her at this point.
At any time.
Yeah. I mean, he's just kind of like waving the chainsaw all around her as she struggles to make it through this pond. Ginny makes it to the house finally. She goes inside and runs upstairs. Leatherface is sawing through the front door. Ginny finds a weird preserved cop upstairs.
Yeah.
The cop still has his gun, so she takes it. She tries to shoot at Leatherface, but the gun probably doesn't have any bullets in it. So she just ends up jumping out of a second floor window. She lands on the roof.
Which is pretty good.
Leatherface follows her out, starts sawing through the chimney, and kind of like raining bricks down on her. Ginny finds a wire. She jumps onto that. Leatherface cuts it. She falls to the ground through a greenhouse kind of thing.
Which I thought this was the best part of this film, was the roof chase.
Reminded me of Tango and Cash. Remember when they bust out of the prison and they got to slide across those electrical wires?
Oh, because she jumps on that wire.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ginny gets up. Leatherface starts chasing her again. Thought there was a pretty cool shot of him running through the greenhouse. Just, I guess in this movie, it's probably one of the only good things. I mean, it's just a guy running through a pane of glass, but I thought it looked decent.
Yeah.
We try to give it what's good, try to give some pluses.
But I think even in your description, you've said like 4 times, like, well, Leatherface starts chasing her again.
Right.
Like it's so repetitive. They basically just do this chase scene in 4 different places, all connected, it's. And at this point, at least it's something, but.
Right.
Because you only had 4 victims and you've killed 3 of them. So.
Ginny gets back over to the trailer. Darla's still there. It's probably like 11:30 at night now.
Yeah.
Darla makes a call to W.E., who's the redneck guy that was holding up Barry at the beginning. W.E. shows up with a sack and a cattle prod. They capture Ginny and put her into Darla's trunk. But Darla's not going straight home. First, she's going to stop and get some pizza for everybody.
And
so
she wants W.E. to tell Vilmer that she's going to pick up pizza, and she says it like 6 times. Mm-hmm. Make sure you tell him I'm stopping to get... Yeah.
Well, I think it is important to note at this point that there are basically 0 deaths by chainsaw in this movie. And also, the whole main driving factor for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was cannibalism, which this movie doesn't have either because we're stopping to pick up a bunch of pizzas for everyone on the way home.
Mm-hmm.
That they don't put human flesh on.
No, I don't think these people are interested in chainsawing or cannibalizing anyone.
I mean, really, folks, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, any of the films, just boils down to a family that likes to have fucking dinner parties.
Mm-hmm. So Ginny's in the back, the trunk of this car. She's kind of screaming and kicking. Darla gets out of her car to go investigate what's happening back there. At this point, some cops pull up behind Darla, and I thought it was really funny that the pizza guy hands Darla her pizza by he fully tilts the box.
Yes, it's one of my 2 notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he turns the pizza 90 degrees to put it out.
Did you say it's one of your 2 notes?
Yeah, I only took 2 notes.
Gotta hit the pizza thing.
Yeah, I wrote, these assholes don't know how to make roads, and then I gave up, and then I was so pissed off by the pizza that pizza handed over at a 90-degree angle. That's it.
That made you grab a pen again?
Oh, I pulled out my phone and typed it in my notes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it was because it's 3 fucking pizzas just and hand it over, and then okay, I'll bitch more about the pizza as we go further on. Yeah, and then these cops come to a pizza place to get black coffee.
Yeah, who does that?
my other favorite thing about this scene is that, like, after she kind of, the cop is like, well, I'm not going to investigate this any further. He's walking back to his car. So she gets back into her car, and the same pizza guy goes like, ma'am, you forgot your drinks. And he has them in like 2 giant bags. Could you imagine getting a bag of like loose cups of drinks that are just, you take one turn 2 miles too quick and those things are tipping over.
Ron, that's a Texas thing.
You get your drinks in a bag in Texas?
Yep. When we go down to where my pops is from, they like to go to a certain place to get sweet teas. And yeah, they'll give them to you in a bag if you order like 4 of them.
Why?
I mean, I guess it's just a way to carry it. I guess if they don't... See, I was going to shit on it too, and then I thought, well, maybe this was... I was like, I don't know. I thought in the 90s they had drink carriers, but maybe if it's
They
a
haven't
Only
mom...
seen it
figured
in
out
Texas.
that piece of cardboard that folds out.
Yeah.
I know.
Has 4 slots.
Well, this is like a little mom and pop place, so maybe they keep costs down. It's like how the Chinese restaurant won't give you napkins unless you ask for it.
And they can't chop your duck because they've lost their knife.
Yeah.
You know what, Texas? Either sort this shit out or we're giving you to Mexico.
I'd be fine with that.
Texas, we love you guys. Keep listening.
Yeah, keep getting your bag full of drinks, you dumbasses.
Kron, you can't go to war with Canada and Texas.
Nah, dude, I'm a
Why not?
middle of the country dude. The Midwest
He's taking it from both sides.
Midwest will reign supreme, dude. I'm like Napoleon. I'm gonna start wars on every fucking border, dude.
Did you get to the end of that book?
What book?
The Napoleon book?
No.
Okay.
I think that book is just called Defeat.
I heard that was a real short read.
Yeah.
I started Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
You like
I
it?
have to order that shit.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's immediately different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're meeting in Schwartz's office, not at the restaurant. And then he, like, a lot of stuff that he fills out later on is in that scene. So, like, the Great Escape story that he's telling him and all that shit, that's right there in the first chapter. So, and you read it, you're imagining DiCaprio and Al Pacino in it. It's pretty good. But
Yeah, go pick it up, guys.
yeah, it's like $8.
We cut over to Heather. She's somehow gotten herself off this giant hook. She's crawling across the road. Darla shows up in her car.
What do you think?
Bitch can crawl, man.
What do you think the technique is there to get out of that hook?
I don't know, dude. If you're hanging on it like that, yeah, you'd have to have enough arm strength to just reach up, grab it, and pull yourself up.
Yeah,
And Heather does not look like she's got the upper body for
that's
it.
what I
Dude.
was wondering. Is there some core strength? Is she having to get the legs up?
I guess you could swing your legs to kind of like kip yourself off of it.
Yeah.
But I think you'd still need a lot of good upper body.
Remember in Pitch Black when Vin Diesel dislocates his shoulders so he can bring his arms all the way up and around? Do you remember that?
No, I didn't. I've seen the movie, but I don't remember that.
I fucking love Pitch Black. Yeah, he's got the dude got his arms like handcuffed behind him, on like a pole, and there's a split in the pole up above him. So he snaps his shoulders and brings his arms. It's fucking brutal looking. It's awesome.
I've only made it into hour 4 of your great scenes breakdown video that you sent us.
Mm-hmm. The problem with Riddick is that he doesn't have a family, though.
This is a Texas Chainsaw Massacre episode.
I know, and I do not want to talk about this movie, so...
They should mash up like Riddick and Fast and Furious. 2 Vins playing off each other.
What are you doing here?
All right, so...
What are you doing?
I can't... It's almost Italian there.
Heather got herself off the hook. She's crawling across the road.
Corona.
Darla gets out of her car and grabs a stick from the woods. She lazily hits her about 4 times and then tells her not to crawl off. Leatherface gets Ginny out of the trunk. Darla goes into the house. Vilmer's going through a box of remotes. Why are my batteries not charged?
Cron, you might have skipped over what Matthew McConaughey has.
Yeah, I guess since I gave the batteries line, it'd be important to point out that Vilmer, who is Matthew McConaughey, basically has a tube that runs from his waist to his foot with some sort of apparatus on it that is apparently controlled by a remote control, and it makes his leg work.
Dude has a bionic leg.
It looks like... remember Stone Cold Steve Austin whenever he would have to wear that big knee brace? Yeah.
He wore that thing forever.
Yeah. But it just looks like a makeshift knee brace thing. And they put some Foley work, like every time McConaughey moves.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime he's in the house, he is at that island in that kitchen, dicking with some sort of remote or battery.
Well, I guess he has a bucket full of remotes.
Yeah.
And I guess they all control the leg?
Universal, baby.
Yeah, but this is another reason to keep your fucking house clean. You've got all these remotes and wires and shit everywhere. Like,
I think this is probably the scene in the movie where I was really like, this movie is not going to be good at all. I think this is about the 45-minute
you made
mark.
it that far?
I guess I kept out hope in a way. Like I said, it starts at its peak, and I guess all throughout the first 45 minutes, it was notching down for me. And then I think we got here, and I thought, this isn't going to come back around.
And that's the bottom line.
Maybe this would just be a good spot to go ahead and take a little
And
pee
make sure
break.
you're washing your clothes in a cold wash with Tide.
Make sure your kids are safe and they don't eat these Tide Pods. That's the bottom line. Don't eat Tide Pods.
I remember one time I went to a wrestling event when I was in like the 4th grade.
Badass.
And I loved Stone Cold. So I made a giant Austin 316 sign. And then I was going with my buddy Trevor, and his dad was going to take us. And I called Trevor, and I was like, oh, dude, I made a sign, Austin 316. He was like, oh, dude, don't put that on the sign because my dad thinks that's religiously offensive. So I had to scramble, and I put a giant box over the 316, and then it became like, that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. So, like, that was the line, like this big fucking square. And, like, all the other wording was, like, tiny around it.
like pointing up to the bottom. Like, this is the bottom line, guys.
Yeah, so I basically just had a sign that had like a big black square in the middle of it.
Thank God for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Next Generation, because we would have never got that story.
All right.
I thought you were
Let's
going to
take a
tell me
pee
that you got fucking beer all over it, you know?
No. I wish. I probably held it up like super proud. Like, Stone Cold, look at my sign.
It was so trashy, but that was still such a cool fucking thing when he'd get up on the turnbuckles and smash two beers together and fucking throw them around. Like, that just juices the people up, man.
Miller Lite, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If only he was at the Capitol as a diversion.
Nah. Yeah, he wouldn't stoop that low.
So the big list
No,
of
I'm
pro
saying a
wrestling-
diversion to get them away from the Capitol. You know what I mean? Like, he was throwing beers and shit.
Oh, and then he gives like Vince McMahon a stunner.
Just bring out like WWE's on the national like
Security
rescue
force?
list.
They're the Congressional Security Force.
All right, guys, get it going, Vince. We need a distraction.
Stone Cold Steve Austin gets a Medal of Freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Undertaker, cue Undertaker now.
Can you? Yeah, you can just imagine like Vince McMahon doing his fucking swag walk with 1,000 fucking truthers behind him. You know what I mean? Like the Pied Piper, just fucking diverting them from Congress over somewhere else.
So just to recap, our big list of wrestlers is number 1, Doink, number 2, Dink, number 3, Stone Cold, number 4, Ric Flair, number 5, Hulk Hogan.
We never voted.
Jet
on this.
flying, limo riding, kiss stealing.
Doesn't he have like alligator shoes on?
Yeah, he can't keep them down.
Yeah.
Dan knows this better than I do.
An amazing man.
Doink?
No, Ric Flair.
Ric Flair.
All right, let's pee.
Yeah, I think we're on a pee break. Follow 5 Day Rentals on Letterboxd. Send us an email, 5dayrentals.podcast@gmail.com.
Welcome back from your break, listener. You probably heard a tasty little ditty here in the middle,
Yeah.
and possibly a promotion for the podcast you're listening to.
Review and rate us.
I certainly hope so.
Who knows what great what great music we'll pick from the next generation. You should just layer 29 chainsaw sound effects.
This might have been the movie that just forces us to find original, different music.
All right, so we're at some kind of little dinner party that is happening at the old Leatherface house. Vilmer threatens Jenny a bunch and puts his fingers in her mouth. Honestly, go ahead.
He has Zellweger by the neck for like at least 20 minutes of this film.
Yeah, there's 4 different scenes of him in her face, grabbing her, groping, yelling.
Spitting food on her.
Yeah, at one point he's like in her ear screaming. And I thought,
Felt bad for Renee Zellweger
Yeah.
at the end of this movie.
yeah. She's too good for the movie. Like,
Yeah.
she's way above. I'm not totally sure on McConaughey. I think he thinks he's doing a better job than he actually is. You know, like he's really getting into it. But
Yeah.
a lot of pointing.
Renee-
He points a lot in that. Like this, that's his move in this.
Raising his arms.
Yeah, and you know.
I think like very clearly Renee Zellweger doesn't want to be here, and McConaughey is acting like, I don't know, like this is Citizen Kane. And
Well, it's only like his third or fourth feature. It's insane how early on it is. So I kind of get being in the movie. It's just a bummer that it's such a shit.
Leatherface drags in Heather. She's still alive. Vilmer goes in for a kiss, and he like bites her pretty hard. He like goes in to kiss her, and then he comes up all bloody. So I assume he bit her pretty good.
Yeah.
We get a scene.
Are you feeling bad for Heather at this point?
No.
Yeah, me either.
I don't think I
wanted
feel
to make sure I wasn't a fucking true fucking psycho by not feeling any remorse for Heather.
Like, why isn't this bitch dead yet?
Well, that's what I was going to say. I don't feel bad for her, but it's just like, you see one guy get run over by a car, the other guy gets smashed by a hammer. Heather is like like when you are playing a video game and you feel like you just can't, they're going to restart you at the last checkpoint no matter what.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of what Heather is. She just will not perish in this film. We get a scene where Darla's talking to Ginny in the bathroom. She says that Vilmer is under a lot of stress with his job. And then she goes into this whole thing that, like, these are the people responsible for the Kennedy assassination. And they've been operating for over 2,000 years.
There are a few references to the Illuminati throughout the film.
Vilmer comes in and threatens to kill her, but he doesn't because he wants her alive for some reason. This is like a whole scene where he's like, you gotta tell me why I'd want you to live. And I don't know, none of this is important in any way. Leatherface drags Ginny back to the kitchen. Vilmer and Darla start fighting. Ginny gets up and grabs a shotgun and tells everyone to get on the floor. And Vilmer starts cutting himself. So Vilmer cuts himself a lot in this movie. And I guess he's supposed to be the weird guy who worked at the slaughterhouse in Texas Chainsaw 1. Is that the connection I'm supposed to make?
Him and... is it W.E.?
Yeah.
Where, yeah, they were supposed to be kind of two side characters from the original.
Well, I guess I don't hate that they tried to bring a character back, but that guy gets, like, run over by a truck at the end of Texas Chainsaw 1. The guy who cuts himself?
Mm-hmm. Maybe that's the reason for the bionic leg.
Well, that's what I thought, but it's just kind of... I mean, he gets, like, flattened by a... like... There's no way you're...
By one of the coolest fucking truck drivers ever to grace film.
Yeah. Fucking hero.
Vilmer comes in... Oh, wait. I think I already read that. He wants her alive for some reason. So Leatherface drags Ginny back to the kitchen. Did I already read this part too?
Yeah.
Yes. This is where she grabs a shotgun. All right.
Is this where the dead-looking old guy gets up? Just, like, leaves?
We're not there yet.
Okay.
So at this point, the family starts going crazy. Vilmer's trying to kill Darla with his electric boot, and Ginny tells Heather to get up. So it's kind of like she has him at gunpoint, but they get to a point where they don't even give a shit about her anymore. Yeah. They're just doing their own thing. Ginny tries to shoot Vilmer, but oh no, there's no bullet. Vilmer goes full on bonkers at this point. Ginny runs out of the house, seeing that no one is paying attention to her anymore. She takes Darla's car. Vilmer jumps on the hood. Ginny gets him off the hood, but the hood flies up, and she just kind of runs into a fence post or something. And Vilmer drags her back to the house. At this point, we cut over and Leatherface is in full-on drag. So he's got on like a negligee and some breasts.
Looking like a fucked up Kardashian.
Oh, I thought he looked like a mangled Cher.
I thought he looked like the big lady from Pink Flamingos.
If I could turn back time.
Divine.
Yeah.
Yep.
If I could. Mangled Share. That's a good band name.
Damn, I want to watch Witches of Eastwick now.
Get the taste of this movie out of your mouth.
For sure.
Darla shows up. She has the remote for Vilmer's leg. They violently kiss each other at this point.
Bionic legs and pizza must turn this bitch on.
And here we are. I think I said earlier we were at the dinner scene, but this is where the dinner scene actually takes place. Vilmer comes in and says, all right, welcome to my world.
Yeah,
Getting that line in there.
They finally start serving pizza.
So, guys, the next time you're in public and somebody says, all right, you could say, oh, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Next Generation.
Yeah.
What? What are you talking about?
Well, I think if they say, all right, you can say, welcome to my world. And you like look over at them. And then they'll be like, no, I'm doing McConaughey. And you'll be like, you're a fucking poser, dude.
Well, if they do it, I think I'm just going to be like, just start screaming at them.
Get right in their ear. Spit all over them. So I guess at this point, everything that is happening is because Leatherface is tired of his old face and wants a new one. And he's selected Ginny's. That's at least what they lay out for the next 5 minutes of plot. Ginny gets up. She says, I'm leaving. This is where...
My dog is having a dream right now. I don't know if you can hear it.
You think he's having a nightmare about this movie?
No?
I heard something.
Okay.
So Ginny gets up, says she's leaving. This is also where the grandpa just gets up and decides he's done with all this bullshit as well.
Not going to suck a finger here.
My thoughts exactly.
I thought this guy kind of looked like Johnny Cash.
Mm-hmm. I said same thing, yeah.
I hurt myself today.
Oh, fuck this.
Vilmer hits W.E. a bunch with a hammer. He also lights Heather on fire, and Darla puts her out. And then a guy in a limo shows up.
Hey, Johnny Cash here. I was so fucked up on cocaine, whiskey, I don't even remember being in this Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie.
Skin that smoke wagon, see what happens.
I killed
I'm
a
going to
teenager in my
Texas.
house just to make a bodysuit.
I'm going to Texas, gonna skin a girl.
So this guy in the limo shows up, and he basically comes in and tells Vilmer, I want these people to know the meaning of horror. He also opens up his shirt, and he's got some kind of weird design carved into his stomach and like 3 brass rings.
I think this is where the whole Illuminati thing was also supposed to come into play.
I'm not an Illuminati expert, so it all is lost on me. The thing I couldn't get, the guy's haircut, he's got that weird no sideburn cut. You know what I mean? Where it goes from like forehead and just That's the thing I tuned into. It's like,
That's
I don't
what you
even know.
noticed about a guy who had 3 brass rings in his stomach.
I'm like, dude, do what you want to your body. I don't give a shit, but
We've watched Strangeland,
fuck up your hairline like that.
but yeah, at least go to a good barber.
Yeah. Do you think that guy had to drive in from Zabulba to monitor the situation in Texas?
That was probably the manager.
I think he flew in on that crop duster, right?
Vilmer starts to crush Heather with his mechanical boot. I guess he kills her at this point, so Heather is dead.
Finally.
And then he starts cutting himself a whole lot more.
And Darla's like trying to stop him. Every time he starts cutting himself, Darla freaks out.
Vilmer holds Ginny down. Leatherface has his chainsaw. Ginny gets Vilmer's leg remote and starts mashing on the buttons, so his leg starts going haywire. And she's able to run out of the house again.
Is she she's the stripper teacher in Varsity Blues?
Heather is?
No.
Darla?
Yep.
Is that her only other credit?
Nah, she's got a couple more, but I did see Varsity Blues on there, and I'm like, I can't. And now I just remembered that.
Huh.
Not going to tell you why I remember that, but
I don't want to know why you remember that.
I'm not going to tell you why I remember that.
Some elderly couple is in a camper coming down the dirt road as Jenny's running out.
Don't stop.
And they're drinking giant Bloody Marys.
Yep. So they hit it.
Spot it.
They hit it pretty hard the night before. This is their hair
This
of the
is
dog.
Spottishes.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is like early morning, and they're just... They probably haven't slept.
At least they're
Fucking driving.
keeping to the back roads.
Spottishes.
Maybe they were up all night making meth.
Love.
It's
Well,
fucking retirement, bro.
I call it meth, but I guess if you're making a shit ton of money off of it, you might call it love.
Jenny's able to get into the camper. Vilmer and Leatherface are in pursuit. They kind of run the camper off the road, and
Yeah, because
it's
the old lady is finally like, she's being chased by a madman with a chainsaw, and like, helps her in.
He's got a chainsaw.
Yeah, speed up, Mr. Spottish.
So their camper flips over. Jenny's able to get out. And then, so she's being chased by Vilmer and Leatherface. A crop duster plane shows up out of nowhere and flies down and kills Vilmer by whacking him in the head with the propeller.
That's a 5-day rentals first.
At this point, the limo shows up again. Jenny gets in, and who would have thought it? It's Stomach Ring Guy again.
This is where I got confused.
He starts to apologize to her and says all of this was set up and it was supposed to be a spiritual experience for her. He also tells her that she can go to the cops or she can go to a hospital. Now, obviously she picks hospital, but as soon as we cut over there's a cop interviewing her. So, best of both worlds, I guess.
So, cop that is interviewing her is John Duggan. He plays the original grandpa in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Incredible.
Paul A.
What a chameleon.
Parton, who plays Franklin Hardesty in the original, is the orderly. And the girl on the gurney is Marilyn Burns, who plays Sally in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
The original final girl of the film.
That's why I said I thought they looked familiar.
Yeah, so the cop is talking to her, and as he's discussing what happened, they do see a lady getting wheeled by on a gurney, which is the original girl from Texas Chainsaw. And
Our final girl.
Ginny kind of stares off at her, and the cop is basically asking her, do you know her? And then we just get one last shot of Leatherface out in a field in drag, spinning around with a chainsaw in his hands.
Crying like a bitch.
And guys, that's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Next Generation.
Run, 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 run. Gentlemen, upon further research, this movie was released January 1st, 1994 in Germany. Theatrical release for a few weeks, September 24th, 1995 in the United States and Canada. That's where we're getting the confusion of 94 and 95. We have a budget of $600K estimated. Worldwide, $185K brought in for gross. Did not do well. Nobody is massacred by a chainsaw in this film. 2 years later, McConaughey and Zellweger both blew up. McConaughey with A Time to Kill in 1996. Jerry Maguire for Zellweger in 1996. Both shared the same talent agent. Both appeared in Dazed and Confused in the year before, 1993, I believe. Original title of the film, Return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And we covered the early scene with Ginny and her stepdad. And that's all I really found. Did watch a documentary that was 55 minutes on YouTube. So if you want to check that out. He kind of covers every character, but there's a lot of interviewing with Kim Hinkle there. Just his thoughts and everything, and going through all the shots and behind the scenes and everything. But that's it for upon further research.
Wow. Well, should we rate the Letterboxd or go to final thoughts?
We can combine the two if you want.
Well, let's rate the Letterboxd first and see if we can segue into our final thoughts from there.
Bones, go ahead.
Dan, I'm going to give you a 1. Kyle, I'm going to give you a 1.
Kron, I'm giving you a 1. Bones, I'm giving you a 0.5.
I think I'm going to do the exact same as Dan here. I'm going to say Bones is a 0.5. Dan, I'm going to give you a 1.
Bones, expose yourself.
I mean, I'm only giving it the 0.5 because we got to give it something, right?
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, I thought about it at break, and I was going to say, I just want to remind you, the scale is 0.525.
Yeah. This movie is fucking awful. There is nothing enjoyable about it. There's nothing inside of it that I can say, oh, I liked that enough to even give it 1 star. My second viewing of this, I got so bored I just started to scrub through it just to sort of remind myself, like, oh yeah, they go here, oh yeah, they do that. And I decided, you know what? I just might not talk a whole lot during this episode. I feel bad for all the people involved except our director, our writer-director here. This is just a absolute piece of shit. Sorry.
Dan?
Folks, I fucking love the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I enjoy the 2003 remake. I enjoyed Texas Chainsaw Massacre too. But this did not live up to anything that is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I'm going to have to even you out, Kyle, with MXP, and I'm taking it a 0.5. I even watched a 55-minute documentary behind the scenes, and I still didn't give a shit after that. So I feel like I gave it enough chances, but it's just screaming. I had my volume on 5 because it was just screaming. That's all it was. I mean, you have Matthew McConaughey, who is a wonderful actor, and you have Mrs. Zellweger, who is a good actor. Both Oscar winners. So I don't know how you go from helping write the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre to being given, well, you were given a lot of money, but it was pushed down, obviously, to this. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm sorry, I guess. I'm not sorry. It like I said last week, Kron brought up a few weeks ago, would I ever watch this movie again? I hope I don't have to.
All right. I think I liked this movie slightly more than both of you. I do want to say slightly. I would give this a 1. And I think, to me, this had a decent setup in the first 20 minutes for a horror movie. There was very few scenes where I thought, like, oh, this is funny. This could, like, the lady in the red dress. Like, if it had leaned more that way, this could have been a fun watch. But it just doesn't. There's literally the best part is the opening credits, and you're going to go straight down a hill from there. And it's just going to get steeper and steeper and steeper.
The fucking amazing thing, though, is if you watch the documentary and you hear them talking about what they're making, like they think they're making like a cutting edge, funny / fucked up, like this is like the next thing. Like, it's like, you guys have no idea.
I mean, rightfully so, right? You have to go into this.
I mean, it's kind of like our podcast. We believe in it, but
yeah,
is it
it's
really
probably shit. Yeah.
Well, I think it's that whole thing. I mean, I think the biggest issue here is they thought that they were making some kind of dark comedy. And when you try to make camp, it's never going to work. Like, you are never going to purposefully make The Room or Showgirls or like any of the things that had a ton of problems and are still enjoyable. Like, this movie is literally just, we are trying to make a trashy movie and they failed miserably at doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 20 minutes in, I was concerned about my monster dog.
Guys, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Next Generation, would be ranked number 24 out of 24 on our big list. It has an average rating of 0.67. Monster Dog, which is now number 23, has an average rating of 1.52, just for comparison.
Fuck.
This is good. Dan, this
Guys,
is good.
Guys, welcome to the bottom.
Kron, you literally have 4 films in the top 7?
I have 5 films in the top 10, and now I also have the bottom of the list.
So
When did you? So you said what? 45 minutes in, you realized?
Well, no. I mean, at 10 minutes in, I realized there were problems here. At 45 minutes in, I had the realization that this will never get better in any way. 45 minutes was the point where I gave up any hope that this might be entertaining in the least.
Did you think you were coming in at the bottom tonight?
Yeah, definitely. I thought. I mean, I was pretty sure locked in on Bones would be a 0.5. I was kind of in between 0.5 and 1 for you.
I started as a 1.5, I think, the end of Monday night. And then I watched a documentary, and I was like, still ain't doing it.
Well, I'd read an article a while ago that just said, like, Texas Chainsaw, The Next Generation, like, should be a cult midnight movie. And after watching this, I was like,
No way.
I don't even like staying up till midnight, and if I had to watch this pile of shit at that time of day, I'd just leave angry, dude.
I'm pretty sure I let out audible, like by myself at least 6 or 7 times throughout this thing. I would rather deal with that 15-minute drive that I had when I woke up with the kidney stone to the hospital emergency room.
God damn.
That 15 minutes of absolute fucking terror where I had to force myself to like sit upright and drive and pay attention. I would rather do that again than sit through this movie.
Kron, you did a number, bro.
God.
You know,
Great for the podcast, I guess, but man.
I thought sequels only could lead to this, though. You know, like, there's no way any sequel. Well, I don't want to say there's no way. There are probably a handful of sequels that are as good as the original film, if not better. But most of the time, they almost always get worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you're almost always at a handicap with horror.
Mm-hmm.
Because very often a horror movie is written as a singular story, like self-contained. And whenever you try to force something out of it, you know, and try to squeeze it for more, it doesn't really work.
Well, you have a huge fucking problem when you have a movie that's called The Texas Chainsaw Massacre and you don't kill anybody with a goddamn chainsaw.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
That's 75% of the tickets sold right there. All right, people getting fucked up with the chainsaw. Hell yeah.
I mean, I guess I will say I kind of wish I had just picked Jason Goes to Hell for this. I think it would have been a funner watch.
I think you should have took Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2.
You know, I'd never seen 4. I thought it had such a low rating on IMDb, but it had Zellweger and McConaughey that I thought maybe there's something in here worth discussing. There's not much.
Letterboxd user rating for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation, 1.9.
Fucking morons.
You snobs.
I think we're usually below the averages, so this makes sense.
There's always...
Yeah, we're the snobs, I guess, in that scenario.
There's always 300 people that are like, this is 5 stars. You don't get it.
Kyle, did you get our rate my letterbox scores in there?
I think I had me at 1.5, Bones at 1.5, Dan at 2.
Yep.
Yeah, do we have a final score on that? We should have had it last week.
I did give it last week,
Did
I
you?
will update you now.
Yeah.
Right now, I would have 9. I have 9 total. Bones has 10.5. Dan has 8.5.
So I'm going third for our review show.
I mean,
Well, if it happened right now, you would.
Yeah.
But
we got 2 more episodes.
we're all within 2 points of each other. I mean, the spread between you and Bones is just 2 points. So
Wait, do we have 2 episodes or a whole other category after this?
This should be our last category.
Okay. And it doesn't necessarily mean you're going third. It means you pick your position in the snake draft third. Which means you wouldn't pick your snake draft position.
But I mean, literally, if, Bones got a 0 next round and you got a 2,
Yeah, you could still...
yeah, it's anybody's game.
All right. Well, lead us out of here, Kyle.
All right. That was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Next Generation from 1994 or 95 or who gives a shit. This was directed by Tim Henkel.
Kim.
Tim, whatever your name is, please stop making movies.
I think he's dead.
I think he did.
Well, I guess he did, and then maybe he died. Dan, if he's not dead, tag him in the episode.
Will do.
Let's see here. Oh, son of a
So-
bitch. He does not look how I imagined he would look.
He looks like a young version of Dr. Phil.
Yup. Hey, so anyway,
He talks like that too, dude.
revamp Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Maybe he is Dr. Phil.
I'm telling you, if you get a chance, check out that fucking documentary on YouTube.
He was kind of like, I guess Hollywood's not working out, so maybe I'll try my hand at televised fake medicine.
We're going to pull Last Jedi on this now, and there ain't going to be a single chainsaw killing in this massacre.
All right, so that was this movie. We're happy to be done with it. And
He's still
after
alive.
showers,
Love you, guys. Love you, Kim.
This man's still around.
Bones is going to tell us what the next selection is for sequels only. And guess what, guys? Only uphill from here. Crash and burn.
0.5.
Crash and burn.
Welcome back, everybody, from your brief intermission where you got to hear some more great banging tunes. This is the after shower segment of the podcast where we let our hair down.
Oh, hello.
And Bones is going to let us know what we're going to be watching next for sequels only.
Thanks, Kyle. And I just wanted to say thanks for that fun pick. In no way is it a reflection on you. My low score of that. But
Look, I had not watched this movie.
It's important for me, for you to know that I'm simply judging the movie and not you. Sometimes I feel like I get judged when my movies are ranked, and
How?
I'm just fucking around.
Who do you
I'm just
who do you
fucking
feel that from?
around. Nobody. I'm just that sensitive of a person. I'm like, oh man. All right. So sequels only. I had this particular pick in a bunch because I was trying to figure out how to watch this series, maybe for the podcast or just on my own. It's something that I came across a while ago. And I'm kind of glad to watch this one first, as I've heard this is sort of the Terminator 2 to its predecessor's Terminator, in a way. So we're going to go to 1990, watching a movie by William Lustig, and it's called Maniac Cop2. Dan, does that surprise you? Does this pick surprise you?
I've always wanted to indulge into the Maniac Cop. So
this has...
I'm down.
I believe Bruce Campbell is predominant in the first Maniac Cop. He's credited in this one. I don't know if he pops up just as like a throwback or something. This also has Robert Davi, who you might know from License to Kill. He is the villain in License to Kill, and he's also one of the FBI guys in Die Hard. And he's the owner of the strip joint in Showgirls, which you just brought up. And
Nice.
this also has Robert Zadar, I think that's how you pronounce his name, a sort of B-movie 80s and 90s actor known for his huge chin. He had some sort of growth defect or something that caused his face to continue to grow. So he's got a great look for movies. He's awesome in Samurai Cop. I don't know when the last time either of you watched Samurai Cop was.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, I know I've seen Maniac Cop 1
Cool.
several times, so I maybe watched number 2 like once or twice. I can't remember. This will be a fun rewatch if I have, though.
Yeah, I've actually debated on seeing if I can sneak Maniac Cop in beforehand.
Bones, do you know if this is available anywhere?
Oh, great question, Kyle. This is available on our favorite Tubi. And I believe it was on somewhere else. I want to confirm for you.
I believe it's on Shudder.
Yes, that was what. So you can watch for free in standard definition on Tubi, Vudu, or the Roku channel. And then if you want to watch it in HD, you can watch on the Roku channel with ads. That's probably how I'll watch it. I feel like the Roku channel has less annoying ads than Tubi.
Hey, we're trying to get sponsored by them, so. Tubi, love your ads.
No, I'm going to play it hard to get. I'm going to start shit talking them. They can come around to me for once.
After watching a single movie on Tubi, I am convinced I need Zoloft or I don't know, whatever else the hell you're hawking.
Wellbutrin.
Yeah.
After a week of watching Tubi, my balls got heavier.
After a week of watching the Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation, I feel like I just need to scream at more people.
Dude, if your balls got heavier after watching Tubi, you gotta work that out or else you'll get prostate cancer.
For real. I have a friend whose dad's a doctor, and he told me that you can't let your balls get too big.
Mm-hmm.
I can't from a financing perspective. Like I'm just blowing through underwear.
Yeah.
I blow
Like literally blowing through them.
Yeah, like I blow through the front of underwear like Leatherface through a front door.
Mm-hmm. You just pull out a strand of cotton from your pants. Just big clumps of it. It's like whenever a baseball gets ripped apart.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's a patch. It's like, when you went to your grandmother's house and she quilted and there'd be like those random quilt patches all over the place.
Yeah.
It's just or sometimes if I got a loose, slit in the front, my balls will slip out that, the momentum, and then they can't get back in.
Sure.
And then I got
feel
this
like you're
Robert
giving
Zadar
out
chin.
too much here.
Yeah. What? No,
So do you
I
feel
have
like
a
you're
lot to
giving
give
out too
out. That's
much?
the problem. I need to get some of it out of there.
So like your balls fly through the opening of your boxers?
Yeah.
You need to get. You need
Well,
to
I'm
get
a briefs. I'm a
the
boxer
button.
briefs guy.
Yeah.
I got the. It's the twofold thing. It's the front flap.
Does anybody have the one that has the space for your nutsack? That like the separate
cradle?
thing you put your nutsack in.
I bought some, but they were way too tight, and the rest of the underwear was too tight.
Around the legs.
Yeah, but the idea of it cradling the bulge was actually kind of nice. So
Oh, see, I was going to say I had some, but even with the extra room, it was still too tight in the crotch.
yeah,
This is why we need like Tommy John. Tommy John. Like we're dying over here. Come on.
well, see, I had to do a mold to get these made. They sent me like this 2-part epoxy stuff that I had to mix up
You
in
just
a
got
bucket.
money, bro.
Yeah, well, then I had to dip my balls into the bucket and make a reverse cast. It was a whole ordeal. So
I got to get mine to go past my knees so the tip of my dick doesn't hang out the bottom.
That's not true at all.
yeah. Well,
Yeah, we
the
don't
problem
believe
is, no matter how big my dick is, my balls are so big, they're pushing my dick right up in my face. So, if I ever have an accident,
Dan, I want you to put, just for a day, put a Pringles can in your pants and just walk a mile in my shoes. See what it feels like.
I don't understand why
you can't.
me putting a Pringle can in my underwear would be a mile in your shoes. Just send me your fucking shoes and I'll walk in them.
Because that's how I get around every day, Dan.
Yeah, Kyle.
Why do you
keeps
put a
his-
Pringle can in your underwear?
No, I'm saying that's my unit, dude.
So your P unit, like your Pringles unit,
Yeah, my P unit.
like every chips that you buy is just Pringles.
Man, you're not even picking up on the joke
No,
the
he
right
didn't
way.
get it.
I'm a Lay's guy. Sorry.
I can tell, dude.
There's nothing wrong with that. Bones is Frito Lay's. Come on.
Bro, you know I'm a fucking spicy nacho Dorito.
I bought spicy nachos accidentally the other day, and I was like, Bones would appreciate this.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I think you were so close right there to saying spicy Nazis.
You know Dan doesn't have to pay for his spicy Nazis.
You called them Natzos.
It was the mixture of nachos and spicy.
Nazis. A mixture of nachos and Nazis.
That the Nazis were the spicy nachos of Doritos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was all just salt and vinegar up until the Nazis. They really put
who
some
would you
zest
call-
into their.
Who would you call the Cool Ranch of World War II?
Probably like
God.
America.
I was gonna say Australia, like
Yeah, I
or
can see
Canada. You know what I mean? Like they were there. They don't get a ton of credit.
They still got a little.
Yeah.
Halen, my daughter, the other day said she liked Cool Ranch more than Nacho, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't know if you can live in my house anymore."
They're a good palate cleanser.
Eh,
You know, every once in a while, like it's something new.
I think I started out that way as well. I think I always liked Cool Ranch more, and then as I got older, I realized Cool Ranch is not where it's at.
Do you think that was because they're called Cool Ranch? Like you couldn't disassociate?
No, I
Like-
think I was full on flavor from the get go.
Your flavor first?
Yeah, I think so.
Real flavor forward with your thinking.
If you get that one that just has a shitload of Cool Ranch on it, like that's a legit chip.
Well, you were also working on that Dude Ranch at the time.
No, Kron, I was the fourth member of Blink-182, and that was our album.
Because you were always eating Cool Ranch on the Dude Ranch.
Yeah.
It was just too much.
Now, was Tom DeLonge,
I was that guy.
Was he UFO obsessed back then, too?
Oh, yeah. Totally, guys. I just did percussion for him, so... and then Travis was like, get the fuck out of here, dude.
You gotta love when you see percussion in those liner notes, because you know that means you didn't play drums.
Nah, there's other stuff. And then they're like, well, we don't really feel like we should have a Congo, because we're kind of like trying like a funny like pop punk thing. I don't know.
And you were like, what's funnier than fucking Congos, dude?
And I was like, well, what's going to be the name of this album? And they were like, Take Your Pants Off and Jacket. And I was like, yeah, guys, I don't think that's going to work. So I ended up quitting. So,
Man, you were way wrong.
Yeah, it may have been the worst mistake of my life. Now I'm here with a movie podcast. So,
With a listener.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got Chile.
We love you, Joss.
Jaws?
Mm-hmm.
Josh? Like, why isn't this bitch dead yet?